Make sure I got this thing. Oh, sorry. How about I mute it while I move it? All right, I've got 5:01. We will go ahead and convene into our city council workshop tonight. It is March 10th. Welcome, everybody. We're going to jump right in. I do not have the public comment sign-up sheet. So grab that for me. Normally I grab that. I'm sorry. I'm remiss. So 5:01. All right, so we'll start with public comment. I'm going to go ahead and read this. Just assume that somebody out there has signed up to talk. This is an opportunity for members of the public to suggest the addition of topics for discussion or to address topics of interest with the presentation limited to 3 minutes, please. All speakers conduct themselves in an orderly and lawful manner. Thank you very much. All speakers will be recognized prior to speaking, and please announce your name and address to be included in the minutes. State law prohibits the mayor and members of council from commenting on any statement or engaging in dialogue without an appropriate agenda item being posted in accordance with the Texas open meeting laws. Ms. Donna, you are it tonight.
You're it. There it goes. There we go. We got it now. He's on. Okay. Deduct that time, please. Mechanical failure. Good evening, council and residents. I just have a couple of notes I just want to talk in the workshop about, and hopefully I'll get some answers, so I won't necessarily do it in the regular meeting. But anyway, I sent an email to the council and the city manager, assistant city manager, about the conditions of Marina. I thank Dorothy for responding, and also any other council members that might have taken action on it. It's been 2 years since the storm, and the council has already approved funding, and we need to go ahead and release those funds and take care of it. And maybe y'all are on top of this now, but thank you for listening to my email. And tonight, I'm not sure the septic tank variance is back in. It might be just because it was tabled last time and all the tables coming back. But if it is in there, I want to remind you about what I talked about last time. And that is, we do not need to set a precedence with doing any variance with septics. I'm not sure what we're doing the variance to, but our ordinance does not state a half acre. It states if it was platted after 1988. The health inspector stood up here in January, I believe, and reiterated everything that I've said and that I said again last month. Honestly, we do not want to be in the business of granting variances for septic. We don't want anything to do with them. Somebody has a complaint about their neighbor and they call the city. Guess what? The county takes care of all of our septic tank ordinances. They make the exceptions. They do what's the proper thing to do for it. So I want to point that out again. I really hope that we're not doing this, and maybe y'all can give me an explanation as to why we would even be addressing septic systems with any kind of variance. We're not the experts in septic systems, so how can we even grant a variance? Maybe it's a variance to something I don't understand, but I'd really like to hear tonight, maybe in your workshop, what this is about. Maybe I'm unclear. Because also I wanted to just state one thing, and I've stated the other things. Section in our building ordinance 3.02303 states construction standards. Construction standards were on site sewer facilities adopted by the State Commission on Environmental Quality on May 23rd, 2001, or most current rules enforced by the county health district are further adopted by the city without change and made effective within the city by this article, which means no changes to the code. So our codes are what they're saying. They're doing it all. This is what we're saying. So what are we changing? I don't understand it. And it was reiterated by the expert that stood up here and told you the same thing. I also wanted to say, never in the history of the city that I've been part of the city council have we ever granted any type of variance regarding septic systems. Doesn't mean it can never be done, but it has never been done in this city to my knowledge. So I just don't want to set a precedence on that, with it, because you're going to open up such a can of worms. You're going to really say, I told you so, if you do it. And then I wanted to announce, and I'll announce this at the open meeting too, we're going to do a meet and greet here at the event center April 16th at 6 o'clock. So thank you very much.
Yep. I'm gonna go with that's a solid yes. Hi, Roxanne.
What are you laughing about?
We're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you.
I don't know, I'm laughing at her then.
Donna says she's laughing at you.
Okay, while Matt's getting all that set up, we will jump right in. We got a lot to get through tonight. It looks like a lot, although a lot of it has already been covered and it's just coming back now that we have the documentation paperwork caught up. So we'll jump right in. First thing up on the regular agenda is discussion on 26012, which is discuss minutes for regular session. City Council meeting on January 13th, 2026. Council, that was in your packet. Open it up for discussion on that if there are any issues on those minutes.
I gave some changes to Kelly, and I think she's already incorporated them, and I just need to look at them before we vote.
Okay, yeah. Any other discussion on 26012? Roxanne, you hear us okay?
Yep,
Okay, perfect.
it's a little soft, but I can hear.
I can yell, and I don't want to blow people's ears out here, so, perfect. Okay, all right, so yeah, council, take a look at that during the break in between, see if there's any additional, Dorothy, requirements that you have. We'll move on to 26013, which is the minutes from the, city council meeting on February 10th, 2026. Those are also in the packet. Any discussion or changes needed to those?
Same thing. I sent Kelly some changes, and she just gave them to us tonight, so I just need to look at them.
Okay,
I can look at them at a break.
okay, that's perfect.
Not, we
That's
won't
perfect.
take long.
Gotcha. They're what? Okay, yeah, she said they're highlighted in red. I don't know if you caught that,
Yeah.
so, okay, perfect. All right, yeah, please do that, and we will bring that back up during the regular session then. Next up, discussion item 25014 is ordinance approving the 25-26 budget amendment recognizing revenues and expenditures. Dennis, I'll hand that over to you to hand that over to Mary. Open that for discussion on that item.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Manager, City Council, members of the public. Ordinance number 26004 is, for all intents and purposes, just moving the revenue and the budget from 60,000 from 2004-2005 to the current year. That was budgeted. It wasn't touched at all. It's for the park.
That's for Ansty Park, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we already have 75 in there. That's for Ansty Park too?
Yes, ma'am. So it brings 135,000 to finish up the park with the plan that was developed.
Can we get the ordinance? First off, it says required by LA, so there's a typo in like the 5th line down. Law just needs a W. And then can we get the ordinance to specifically say that these aren't just generic engineering costs, that these are related to the evaluation and the improvements at Ansty Park? So it's real clear what the money's for?
It's not going to be just used for engineering. They're working the cost now. So we should have, and it's going to be coming back to you all on the 17th is our plan. We got some message back from the engineering architect firm, if you will, the landscapers. They are working on a conceptual plan as we talked about before. So once we get the engineering cost taken care of, we will move those other dollars over to the actual purchase, and we just don't have the numbers or know how much we're going to need. But what we do have last year definitely is going to be not enough no matter what we do with what we have this year. So we need to get the money moved, take care of the engineering cost, find out what the total cost for phase 1 will be, and then see how far that will take us. And if there's a short, if there's something we need to revisit or what we can't do internally to do it to keep our costs down, then we'll have to seek some other funding. But this
But do
is.
we want to wait until
No,
we
ma'am,
know?
no, ma'am, we don't have time. We really need to have this budget amendment because we know it's only 60,000. We only got 75. And I saw a preliminary number, that although it's not solid, it's well over 200, so we're not going to have enough. So if my recommendation is to move the money, and it's there, and we'll still look at some other funding alternatives, which is be like grants and what have you. And you're going to see some of that between tonight and next week on some other projects, and that we'll be talking about. But no, this is
Oh,
nowhere
yeah, my
near.
concern is it just says engineering.
It is engineering originally, but I just don't know the final cost.
No, I understand that, but if it is for NSA Park, I think it would be clear to the residents if we're telling them, yes, this is going to NSA Park, whether it's engineering costs or whether it's.
It is going to NSA Park, yes.
Okay, well, can we get the ordinance to say that is my question.
There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to use it for the purpose of NSA Park, you all can make that motion, and we'll include that wording in there if you'd like.
Okay.
So we'll include that wording in 26004.
May I ask that if you're going to do that, to use it like John NSA Park improvements? In that way, it can be for engineering, it could be for a play set, and you were not bound and having to come back and change it because the wording wasn't all inclusive.
I'm not calling it engineering. You are. You're putting it in engineering 6203. So I'm
The
fine
line.
calling it whatever it
Well,
is.
it's,
Improvements is perfect.
okay, there we go.
But it's going into engineering.
In that line item, yes.
That line item,
Yeah,
okay.
initially, yes.
So NSA Park improvements, perfect.
Okay, so I'll make the adjustment to the 26004. And I just want to clarify, because we went into that one and that's 26004, but then we're going to do 26003, so.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. You want to go ahead and discuss
Yeah.
that one as well while you're in place?
26003 is recognizing funding that we have received for this year's budget, in this year's budget, that exceeded the 42,000 that was budgeted for this fiscal year.
Can I just ask a question? Is this for when some employees and equipment went down to Kerrville in '25?
Yes, ma'am, it says
oh.
Kerrville severe weather.
And was
Part
part
of
of the California too?
Yes, it has it there, the breakdown.
So these are 25 cost reimbursements that we're recognizing in '26.
Because we
And the
received them.
reason,
Because we
yes,
received them.
and so we have actually received the funds. This isn't an estimate.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we've received this. Okay, sounds good.
Council, any other discussion or questions? Okay, thank you, Mary.
And that happens all the time, right? Where we incur expenses and then we don't get reimbursed until the following year. And it's just the way it works. Okay. Yeah.
It might be something to keep in mind moving forward, is whenever those deployments happen toward the end of the fiscal year, there's a high likelihood you're not going to get it back then.
Right.
And so that's going to throw something off that you had planned to do with those dollars. So this is a good example where it occurred, toward the last quarter?
July.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
was in July, and
And we're-
California was before that.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So, and now if it's involving FEMA, it can even take longer. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that we did, just so we could keep track of the expenses, is I created a TIFMAS FEMA code. So whenever they use that, then we'll keep track of actually how much money is being used that we expect to get reimbursed, so that we keep tabs on that. Because right now, everything's just it was all in one big bucket.
Yeah.
And when they submit it, they do submit it, but then it's hard to keep track because it's all under the same object code, the same accounting code.
Yeah,
So
I understand.
at
That's a
least this
good
way,
idea.
So if I'm going to Kerrville from this day to this day, then I know from this day to this day, that account number will be used to track those expenses that we paid, but.
And
so that-
that's what we're asking for the reimbursement. So we've got to track how much we
Right.
spend.
And they
Right.
are, it's just, it makes it very hard, especially as you know, we had issues with the account codes, to go back and look when there's different numbers and they're all over the place.
And I want to, if y'all don't mind, I'd like to add one more thing. For budgetary purposes, these funds weren't included because we didn't know the timing when we were going to get it, and we didn't know the amount. So that is another reason to do it once you receive them. But if we, like the FEMA money, we knew how much we spent. We knew that we met the criteria, so it was a little bit different. We didn't have that here, so we didn't include it in the budget.
And it was such a large amount.
That's true
have
too. Yeah.
600,000.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't
But at
not
least we
have
knew-
that in our budget.
We knew what we had
Yeah.
and we knew what we wanted back and we knew we
Yeah.
met all the criteria, but this was one that was just too many unknowns, so it wasn't included.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why when we go back to when you wanted the FEMA stuff, it's very hard because the account, everything's into one big account. So what we get and how much they owe us, like the California fire, what we spent is not the amount we got reimbursed. It was less.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would imagine it's not dollar for dollar,
yeah.
right? Okay.
So, but at least hopefully I can provide a report that says this is how much we actually spent and this is how much we got reimbursed. And once we get the determination of how much we are gonna get reimbursed.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next up is 25016. This is, I think it's more documentation and paperwork. We've discussed Kim before, Vice Chair on the Library Board. So it is coming back before council to discuss a resolution to appoint Kim Vice Chair of the Library Board. Council, any discussion on that? Any concerns or? Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward, I think. So just cleaning up the house. Okay, the next one, 26017. Yeah, you know I'm calling on you on this one.
Yeah.
So this is the ordinance for 20, or the variance, I'm sorry, for 20
Yeah.
Quail Loop on the half acre. So
Right.
away you go, sir. Let's see if we get some answers
All
for.
right, here we go. On the 20 Quail Loop, as y'all know, we do have an ordinance in our ordinances that have that half acre septic system requirement. As Donna's pointed out, some of the other wording that are in other parts of our ordinances seem to either contradict that or make it to where if, things were replatted prior to 1988, then they don't need to go there. In doing some more research on my own on that one, I found that in chapter 10, which is our subdivision chapter, there's a section in there that talks about blocks and lots. And down there, whenever we might have an ETJ that is coming into our city and a developer is there putting all those together, in my reading of it, it appears that there is a section down there, and I'm trying to find my note to show me exactly where that is. There we go. It's chapter 10, section 10.02122. Talks about blocks and lots. And in the bottom part of that section, they recommend, it says, the minimum lot size for all lots shall be 22,000 square feet. And my calculation says that's a half acre, or close to it. It may not be exact.
So that's new subdivisions.
Beg pardon?
That's new subdivisions.
And I think that's in new subdivisions, so it may not necessarily apply for what we're looking at here at 20 Quail Loop for sure, but the half acre scenario, yeah, I guess if we're gonna address it, we may need to address it everywhere. Here, over on the other one that's got the half acre, and I know there's some wording that's kind of been put out there to consider whether, how we would modify that. We're still, I think we're still kind of setting still on the fact that we, have given them the approval. I know I don't want to set a precedent either for any of these things. But if we are going to, set a precedent for that, that's something to consider, something for us to discuss. Let me just give you the email that came back to us. When I say us, I'll say to Mike and to me as well when we question the half acre. The lady over at Bell County Public Health District, her name is Sarah Little. She said I emailed Lindsay with Bellcad to get an updated list. She sent it and said the plat was filed with the county on 1/6 of 2026.
Right.
It is now a legal piece of property. Morgan's Point Resort, Section 15 lot, block, blah, blah. A new affidavit is required with the new legal description. It will, I will contact the owner and septic installer to get that. Once we receive the new affidavit, the inspector can continue his review of the septic application. Once approved, we will contact the installer and email NPR and the owner of the approval. So that's kind of their response back to us on us trying to determine who's gonna do it, how are you gonna do it, and what's required. None of that kind of wording right now do we really have in our ordinances to make sure we can fall back on Bell County Public Health District for that. So,
Right.
and we are planning on trying to change that ordinance. It's just, we're not real sure exactly how to write it.
But right now, we're waiting on Bell County to approve their septic.
To approve the septic, and I was hoping Mike was gonna be here tonight, but I don't see him. And, cause it sounded like this was gonna be coming shortly. You know, but I have not gotten a copy of it, and as far as I know, Mike hadn't gotten a copy of it at this point.
We've talked about it a couple times, and we are not in the septic business. We don't approve any septic systems. We don't say you have to have a half acre, you don't have to, I mean, we control nothing on septic systems. It's all Bell County Health. So I would like all the language in our ordinances that say anything about us dictating anything about septic systems be removed. And I found one, I sent it to Ken and Mike. It's the very same area. Appendix B, Section 10, 10.4, area regulations, and it says all subdivision plats after 1988, have to have a minimum lot size of 1/2 acre. I suggest we delete that. And I sent this to Ken for consideration of P&Z. Replaced with something like, in all cases where on-site septic system sewage disposal is utilized, the system must be approved by the Bell County Health Department before the permit process can be reviewed by the city. So in other words, we're not doing anything until you get your house plan with your septic system approved by Bell County, because we add no value.
Agreed.
Okay, so can I ask P&Z to go back and get out that language, so then we're out of the variance business too, for 1/2 acres for septic systems.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If we go back and, because we're gonna be editing an ordinance,
Right.
and my understanding of any edit of an ordinance takes a little more of a process to get that done, so that it gets adopted, so that then our muni code gets updated by that amount.
It's effective the minute we approve it. I mean, we can approve this language tonight, and it would be effective tonight. Yeah, it has to go through the process to be
Right.
posted, so the residents know about it, but if you're listening to read the minutes, so, I'm hesitant for council to do that without P&Z, looking at it and agreeing with it.
I think the key is, we don't have really anybody on P&Z that's an ordinance writer.
I see, okay, well, I'm not either, but that's my layman's language.
Ken, could you have, talked to planning, perhaps the COG, they're here for that purpose?
Yeah, David.
Do you all have that ability over there in the COG? Do you have the ability to write the ordinances? Do you have the, okay.
It's just a
So-
modification.
I did send over,
Did you?
like a draft of it before with the template included on how to do
Okay.
it, but I can.
Yeah, if you'll help us, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
And if you want to send him what I sent, you can change it all day long, because mine was just to get us off the dime and get us out of the septic business.
I have a question. We have two different issues. Changing our ordinances may be necessary, but we have an application for variance. Can we just ask them to withdraw the application since it's not necessary?
They have not gotten Bell County to approve their septic yet.
I know. But what do we need a variance for?
Well, if we approve this, we will not need a variance.
Had a conversation last night after our meeting. Josh was at a training, but what Robert told me was the reason that we have to give the variance is because of the 1/2 acre that's mentioned in our ordinance. So to eliminate all those issues, exactly what you said, we need to get rid of that 1/2 acre verbiage in there.
That's the only place I could find it.
And their hands are tied because we have that in our ordinance.
Right.
So that's kind of where the rub
Or in
comes in.
betwixt, in between.
Yeah.
But then
So-
what do we do with the application? Just ignore it?
To simplify
No.
things going forward.
No, I understand.
Well, we can't even approve the variance tonight if we wanted to, because Bell County hasn't signed off.
I
So what
understand
we
that.
say is it has to go back to P and Z.
Yeah,
P and Z's got to get the Bell County Health to
I
sign
understand
off.
that. But if the resident were told that we're changing the zoning and the application is totally unnecessary, we're gonna take care of it. Why don't you just withdraw your application for variance?
I think that's up to P and Z. I'm not quite sure their protocol on that. I guess you could informally let them know that that's what we are doing and let them still continue forward with Bell County, because they have to do that no matter what.
Yeah, because they evidently have to fill out a brand new affidavit after those new lots have been combined into
Right.
the one lot.
Yeah, I did read that.
And that's kind of what they were waiting for. Evidently, Bell County Health District was waiting on that new affidavit. I think they've gotten all the sign-offs from Morgan's Point Resort for the fact that we've approved the fact that they're actually applying, I guess you could say, for this variance. And if we can just get that replat, which they've already done, because based on the email that she sent, those two lots have now been combined into one.
But do we wanna have on the record that we acted on the variance at all? I don't see the necessity.
I mean, I mean, I can go back and see if they will withdraw the variance. We can see if we can get that done. If
And
we
we
get
can
that,
attend to the zoning.
right. And we can then tell the residents of the Quail Loop that they need to go back and get all their affidavits filled out with Bell County Health District. And then once that gets approved, evidently, the building permit can be issued immediately after that if it gets approved.
If everything else qualifies.
Right.
Right.
Right. Okay,
So then it won't come back to us again.
Exactly.
Right.
all right.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do by getting the ordinance changed.
Yeah, I think I know P and Z has struggled with that one, especially with lots we have nowadays and knowing what we're gonna be doing going forward. It's gonna be a hindrance if we have to continue to try to do that on a lot-by-lot basis.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't wanna do that.
Okay, all righty.
Thanks, Ken.
Okay, you want to, I'm sorry, council, any other discussion on that one? On Quail Loop? Okay. Do you want to jump right in for 26018, which is the request for 14 South Robin?
I've got some good news on that one. I talked to Ms. Moss today, and I've also visited with Mike on this one. She is withdrawing, asking for the carport over on the other adjacent lot. It's not a contiguous lot, but adjacent. She has asked to put a carport to the side of her house. It's going to be a 16-foot wide carport that will not encroach on the extended front setback and lines there. So there really won't be a permit issue at all. My note that came to me from Mike said that he can issue the permit, she can get the bill done, and there's no variance that we need on this one at all.
Okay, fantastic, thank
We,
you.
we think we have solved that one. for
All
sure.
right, good. I'm glad Mike worked with her.
And I can remove that one from the regular agenda then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
That's all I've got unless you have any other. Yes, we will not have a public hearing on that one for
Okay,
sure.
so we have to withdraw the public.
And I'll be getting with Kelly on that one. We'll be canceling that part. Any
Thank
other
you, sir.
questions? All right.
Council, anything else before he takes his seat? Okay. All right, 26019, discuss memorandum of resolution authorizing the ACM CFO to serve as the designated officer under Texas Local Government Code 105.011.
I'll go ahead and do it, Mayor, City Council. This is, because we're at that end of that time period when we're allowed to, use the same depository for city funds. It's once every 5 years. It has to go back out. It's for a competitive process. It's called for.
No, you didn't. Look at that.
Thanks a lot.
Here for you.
All right, so I think it's working now. That didn't work. Anyway, so what this is for is the designation of an officer to start the process and come back and give you the specifics as far as what banks responded, and basically provide the best value, but it's ultimately city council's decision on which one they want to go with. One of the things that is kind of unique for this city is we have no bank here. So since there's no bank, there is provision under this Texas local government code that when you have no bank outside, forget it. When you want to use a bank outside the city, it requires a policy to be adopted by council. It's not an option. So, and even T-Mail will tell you the same thing. So what we'll do is I'll prepare just a snippet of information. We'll include it in a resolution. If you all approve that next week, that's really the only thing that we're going to need prior to the applications being sent out, the request. So what we're doing now is we're working on that part of the puzzle, and once we get it finished and with what you're all going to do next week, we can get that out. And we've already been in contact with Horizon. They're aware of what's going on, so I fully expect them to bid as well for this process.
And it's not like we're going to switch from.
No, it's y'all's call.
But it's just a,
Yeah.
going out for bid because it's 5 years and it's
Right.
time to do it.
If you wanted to keep them for 30 years, you can. Just every 5 years, you have to go through this process, preferably a lot earlier than what we're doing. But yes, the answer's right, yeah.
Okay, so Mary will be the point person on.
Council, any other discussion? Okay, next up is 26020, which is a memorandum resolution to accept a rural VFD assistance program grant in the amount of $10,000. Shane is in the office. I spoke to him on the way down here working on something. So Matt, you're going to take that one, Dennis? Who's taking that one?
He's gonna take us for it.
You got that one? He's taking the long way around? You trying to get steps in? Is that why you walked all the way around instead of just direct? Okay. I was gonna say, if you just do this while you're sitting down, you get thousands of them.
You're not gonna be able to hear me because it's volume like.
Good hair.
We could share.
Got an extra.
This pops on and off. I mean, you want this?
Okay, good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens. Let's see if we can fix it. So we're good? Okay, how about this? Yeah, fun stuff, man. Yeah. Okay, so good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens. I'm here tonight to discuss a resolution for accepting a rural VFD grant. This one was the same, almost the same likes as the last grant that we brought before you. The fire department made application and for $10,000, and it's a training grant. It happens all the time with them. They get a lot of training grants. So it's for $10,000 to go to training and training equipment specifically. And we're here tonight to ask for acceptance of that grant.
And it doesn't require any matching
Nope.
from the city?
No matching funds required.
Yep, okay. Sounds good.
Any other
Yeah,
questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Sunspots, that's what I'm going with. Okay, no additional comments, discussion, council. We will move on to 26021. This is another one that was brought before us before. It's essentially just cleaning up paperwork and making sure that all the i's are crossed and t's are dotted. This is the memorandum resolution to reappoint EDC board members, Scott, Greg, and Ted for 2-year terms. Any discussion on that?
No, we didn't have any minutes from EDC meetings where they approved these people to be nominated. So Linda came up with draft minutes and signed them with a transmittal that said, we discussed this at our January meeting, and yes, we have approved these people. So I don't know, Kelly, I don't know if you got that can go in the packet, but we do have documentation that EDC board already approved these. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Council, anything else?
Okay, okay. Don't need it, okay. Yeah, I guess I got the impression we let the boards select their members, but maybe that's more courtesy than formality. Okay, good to know. We're courteous and formal.
Okay, next up is 26022. This is an adjustment to the ordinance section 2.01.007, impoundment of the animals. I'll take that one with your bio lead. So that one reared its ugly head a while back via a social media post, which in fairness for those that are not tracking, keeping score at home, the post that was made was our ordinance verbatim. Now I acknowledge, as I did with PD and with staff, that the use of the word dispose, horrible. I think we can all agree to that. When I went back and did some digging into that thing, that ordinance was last adjusted in 2005. Spoke with our animal control officer. He indicated that it was not out of the norm for that word to be used. So no harm, no foul. The long and the short is that just kind of looking at our ordinances and trying to keep moving forward and kindler, gentler, and cleaning things up. Sent that out to, sent it to Dennis, to Matt, to Mike, to Officer Thompson. Got a little bit of feedback, bounced it off of Neil, and you were sent the adjusted ordinance that everybody kind of gave me their feedback and their head shake on as far as adjusting it. The one thing I will mention, thank you to Neil on this one, was I was not aware of this. Every time the city takes an animal to the Bell County shelter, we pay them $60 per animal. So that's why that last sentence was added on there, that the owner, after they recover the animal, could be held liable, more than likely will be held liable for that fee payable back to the city. So that's added on there. It does add up. So any questions, comments, or discussion on that? That's the genesis of that one.
No, I like getting rid of the word dispose, because that's not what we're doing.
No, no.
In layman's definition of what the word dispose means, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's just changed it completely, that we're gonna, it's written the what we do, and that is we take them to the animal shelter if they're not claimed within a period of time. Yeah.
Just a little more, for those who haven't read it, it's just, I'm not gonna read it. You guys can, our residents can dig into it.
Cleaning it up, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more, provides a little bit more clarity on exactly what we do with the animals.
It's less controversial.
Yeah, and it also includes a section now, because originally it just talked about dogs and cats. And we got lions and tigers and bears running around the city. So what do we do if we recover one of those? So if an animal of that nature, if you own a horse and it's running, galloping down the street, and we recover it and we take it to the appropriate agency, then that is now included in that ordinance as well. So council, that was the genesis behind that, and will be submitted for your discussion during the regular council session. Any additional comments on that one? Okay, 26023 is a memorandum resolution authorizing the city to enter into an agreement allowing application for a Homeland Security grant. Who's going to cover that one? Oh, yes, Hodge gets his steps in today.
As the application. Is there only one that we're discussing?
Yes.
council members, mayor, thank you for your time. Morgansport Resort Police Department is requesting a resolution to put in for a Homeland Security grant for the 2026 grant process. We're requesting $32,469.60 with it's 100% funding, no match from the city,
Oh, no, Matt.
no match. Huh? Yeah.
Really?
So the resolution that you guys get, it's like a generic wording that we get from the state, so they just include match in there, just,
I would prefer our resolution be specific that the city is not required to match funds, because this says we're required to match funds.
yes.
So I'm thinking we're up for 16,000.
No, so
Okay.
basically they have a certain wording they want in their resolutions, and we have to use that
Okay.
wording. So,
Can we leave that wording in, but add something to the effect of, it is not anticipated that the city will be required to fund? I mean, I just want it to be
Yeah, that's fine.
perfectly
Just make a
clear.
motion, just when you do it, just somebody make a motion.
yeah, make a motion, yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to mess up the grant.
Yeah, as long as we stick to that base outline there, because
Yeah.
Dennis made changes to it, she just made changes to it. We can add, we just don't want to subtract too much to it.
Got it. I just want to be perfectly clear, because if
Okay.
you read this, it looks like we're in for a match.
No,
Okay.
no match.
Okay.
So basically what we're requesting is for the dive team, it's a Aquai Pro Command. It's a rapidly deployable underwater sonar system. The actually dive team, we had the company come out a couple of weeks ago. They've been demoing it the past couple weeks down at Stillhouse. It's supposed to help use AI to locate bodies faster, reduce time by 90%, spending less time in the water for their divers in unsafe conditions at night, and bringing lost loved ones home quicker. Any questions?
Well, plus your visibility is not very good.
Right. It is. I did a little research on it. The cost I saw online, and again, it was like, I didn't dive deep, it was just a quick AI search, but that the cost was about less than 20,000. Is there any reason why this is 32?
Two different systems.
Okay.
You have like your base user system that's like about
I see, okay. And then I also saw where not very many people have this system. It's a relatively new system. Kerr County has it for the Guadalupe River. Corpus Christi has it for the Bay and the Gulf.
So it really
And
makes the name for itself.
yeah, I imagine.
It's a good product.
And our dive team is not only for us and our lake, but it is a regional, number one, it's all volunteer. And then number two, it is for the region. So this will be available to Waco or Salado or, no, we didn't get anything except a resolution.
Intern chief testing.
Okay.
Letter of,
Oh, yeah, we didn't get anything.
I'll send it to y'all.
Okay. Oh, I didn't see it.
That was an add-on for today.
Oh, I just got it? Okay, I didn't see the packet. Okay, today's packet. Okay. Yeah, and it just sounds like it's a lot safer for our divers. And it's more recovery than rescue, but it can be used for both. Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Okay, all right, we're gonna try to keep moving along. We are doing brilliant on time, yeah, so, Mary,
What?
and I'm going to humbly request that you try to stick to around, like, about 5 minutes
I didn't know
before.
it was this one.
Okay, that's perfect.
we gonna celebrate?
Can you hit the two topics that they talked about? Just real quick. Utility billing.
So is that all resolved, or is that still?
Working on, because what happened is, were duplicated. Okay, we had to go for turkey sticking in between.
Did they get paid twice?
No, ma'am.
If it's in accounts payable,
Yeah, but it weren't,
but it was booked on our books.
payable that is not paid.
So those accounts payables would be over a year old, sitting in accounts payable. We have really old bills today sitting in accounts payable from '24. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, I know, I'm talking today, because those were all cleared up. No, my question, my point is simply, do we get an aged accounts payable? Do we get, at the end of each month, what's in accounts payable and how old it is? Because that would have told us those invoices were a year old and not paid. Okay. Okay, so I don't want to drag down the conversation, but did the auditors audit Encode in '24 or FundView in '24? What set of books did they audit?
And you do have two audit environments, 23, 24, because 24 is when it was switched over in October, November timeframe, right? Right, so.
That's why I'm wondering
Yeah,
what they audited.
that's the problem, and that, I'm not even sure, I think he mentioned an alternative way of doing this, if for some reason they can't do it the way they'd like to make it more streamlined. He's looking at some alternatives, I'm talking about Lewis, so I'm not sure, but those are the two biggest issues there. They've got the actual, items that were off, so that's been supplied to them, so they know what they're looking for, they've got that information back, but he still has to figure out how to work through the issues, and if he can't, I guess, I don't know what his alternatives is, but he's got some.
Do we have it quantified? Do we know if it's 100,000 or 25,000? Do we have any idea? So there's a problem with $200,000 worth of.
Mind what you just said, we don't know that. We don't know if it's, because of some of them, you did find, it's already been submitted to them and they were paid, so.
That's what I'm asking.
we don't know
What
if
are they hung up on right now?
Well, he's got a list, we gave it to him already, I don't know, you can highlight a couple of them if you'd like.
You know, how much? I don't need to know the
Yeah,
detail.
about 200 grand, but it's like, it doesn't mean it's all where they weren't paid. I think all the vendors were paid from what you told me, right? Okay. So it's more of accounting errors that someone duplicated and/or the bank reconciliations can occur.
For the 24 audit? Yes. April 14th. You're not waiting on anything else from us?
Well, they just told me. Everybody came together.
Yeah, we were in betwixt and between. Okay. Okay.
And you might mention that the interfund transfers were done in this month, so you'll see that on the on the March report. And keep in mind when we're talking about interfund transfers, it doesn't change the amount you have in the bank, it just changes how much is in each of those funds. They'll fluctuate, but the actual number in the bank stays the same.
So, I'm having a heart attack here, because the way I read that is the 24-25 audit is not even gonna begin until the summer, and I don't know what summer means, of '26. Okay, well, we're in trouble
No, well,
with our property taxes.
no, what happens is, what you're referring to, I guess, is the Senate bill concerns that we talked about the last time. There's only a couple things that a city can be done, that can be done to the city, and one is just not spend those dollars. We have it, by the time you actually spend those dollars, you'll probably have it done around that time frame. The problem is, right now, everybody in the state is trying to get theirs done before the 31st of March.
There's no way we're getting it done by March, but to say now that we're not even gonna start it until the summer, is that June, July, August?
Well,
What is that?
Lewis did say, I think he said something to the effect that we could be done sooner on the 14th one if all these things are worked out. But, so does that mean the other one will be done before the summer? I don't have the answer.
It doesn't say done, it says start.
What I'm saying to you is that they said that 14th of April is when it's projected, that timeline can be shortened or extended depending on what they
That's
find.
the 24 audit.
Ma'am, I'm trying to
No,
speak.
I
Okay.
understand, but that's the 24 audit.
I
I'm
understand
talking
that, but
about the
but they're not
25.
gonna do the 25 till the 24 is done.
I understand that.
Okay, okay.
I know it is, but it's not getting done. So my concern is, what can council do? Do we need to bring in a CPA firm to work with Mary on the 25 audit to get it done so we know when we're going into the budget for 26, 27, what our property taxes are?
Personally, I think it would be a mistake to bring anybody else in right now when you've already got the auditors working, trying to close out 24 and let them go ahead and get in 25. This is a unique situation you all have because of the historical pattern that was laid out before you. I know no one's to blame here, but the fact of the matter is, those things have to be worked through. You don't get 5 audits or more, actually, and there's gonna be a single audit you haven't talked about. There's gotta be a single audit probably in the 24 audit, and there's gonna be probably another one because of the grant money that we got reimbursed for
Okay, so
through
as you
FEMA.
guys prepare your budgets for 26, 27, we're gonna be limited in revenue significantly. So
Yeah,
I
that's-
hope when they come to the table in April 28th, that we take a hard look at our expenses.
Okay, well, they've already projected out their expenses as far as that goes. I think staff's already been working with you on that. But at this stage, there's no major outlay. We've already talked about this when we adopted the budget. We said, slow the roll. You all approved it.
Yep.
And right now, you've got, there's nothing that's really that critical that can't wait till these things are done. One of them, you got the financials, the ones I sent you last week, the unaudited financials. You can see the fund balances, the unrestricted fund balances, and that's good. But again, you don't have the 25 reimbursements. That's going to show up in this 25 audit. But there's nothing that critical right now to push anything any one way other than to let it just continue to operate, and you'll end up being where you need to be. One of the things they did say is to get us back on schedule, that they did expect us to be on schedule from here on out because everything is being wrapped up. All the issues you've worked through FundView, the auditors. The only thing that won't be done will be the 19 and 20 fiscal years that I'd recommend you do. And I'm assuming that since it's a workshop, I'll ask real quick, is there any objections to me going ahead and getting a engagement letter drafted up to bring to council so you can have those earmarked for that same doesn't mean you can't switch an audit after 25 is done. You can clearly do that. But at least it locks in the same company that's been getting you through this problem to go ahead and look the fiscal year in 19 and 20. If there's no objections, I'll go ahead and get those things.
I thought we
blocked.
agreed to that, yeah.
Well, we've been a little bit back and forth, but if consensus is here, I'll bring that back and you all can look at that in April, get that done, and then they've already gathered all that stuff. I think you've done everything you can in Encode.
And I know that. I know staff has been working really hard.
But we haven't talked to,
Done, and so the question is there anything else on this planet?
it would just
that we
create
could
more
do?
chaos, I think,
All right.
right now. I think the best thing you can do is let me get that engagement letter brought up. We'll talk to Lewis and make sure they get that sent to us. We'll get it to you no later than the April meeting. And then you've got them locked in, then the 25, 26, whether you stay with them, whether you, if you, either way, you'll need to go out for bid on that one or an RFQ to do that. But if, or like I said, you may want to stay with the same auditors. They know you better than anybody else, but that's really your all's call. But we'll get that engagement letter brought before you, and the stuff's been dropped off. She did it yesterday, the same day it came in. It went right back to them. And that's our biggest ask. Let us know when you know so we can get the stuff back to you. But again, this is crunch time for everybody. So I got it, but I don't like it. So I'm sure you all don't either.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get an update after we get the 24 audit in April as to what their start date is for 25, and hopefully it is not the summer of 26. Okay. Thanks, Mary.
Okay, council, without objection, we will roll the city manager update and the executive sessions back into the workshop following the regular session. So without objection, I'm going to go ahead and recess out of the workshop. I've got 18:05. Council take 5. Freshen up, do what you got to do, and we will kick off at 6:10. That's what she said. She's like, you know, it's
Sorry, I get upset.
I think you're valid, so.
It's really frustrating, yeah. How are you?
I'm doing much better, still not released from the surgeon yet, but
Okay.
much better, so.
Well, I'm excited that you're out there walking.
Yeah. Got a 5K Saturday that I'm walking, I'm just walking.
Yes, of course, yeah, and you don't want to hurt anything.
I did a thing today.
Okay.
I applied for Genesis jobs.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you go.
So, there's some great candidates that I met.
Yeah, we have like 28. And the cutoff is Friday, so hopefully we'll know by Friday.
I had a lot of people that asked me to apply.
Yeah,
so-
well.
And so I thought about it, I prayed about it, and it's like, why not? I mean, I love where I work at.
Right.
But I feel like.
Oh, you know a lot. At least you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I know what I'm getting into.
Right.
I know what I'm getting into.
Right.
But, you know, I had, gosh, so many people since, it became open to reach out to me, and it's like, that are other residents, and it's like, you know what? Let me think about it, let me pray about it. They were calling me to, hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Group hugging.
Yeah.
I went for the sugar.
Oh, okay. Oh, my. Yum, yum.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I know she does.
But yeah, I figured I'd put my hat in there just like everybody.
Good. We'll see what we get. They're excited. I mean, they've said we've got some incredible
Hello,
candidates.
hope you're
so.
having fun. Good to see you. Roxanne, where are you?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah. You think you're qualified, you know? And you know the city.
You're gonna be here in April though, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta be here, cause we're gonna celebrate
Thank you.
that doggone
Well, I'm
audit.
gonna find out in a few days. Exactly, so I appreciate the heads up.
And I made chalupas today. Yes. Yeah, cause it's gonna be a long, long night for them. Well, you too.
I was muted, you couldn't even hear me.
I could read
Can
your
you
lips.
hear me now?
Yeah, I can
You
hear
Oh.
you
never
now.
know because it's a site.
Okay, I just put it on mute while I'm sitting here because my air conditioner runs and it's kind of noisy. So I'll just turn it off when it's time to talk. I sent Kelly a picture this morning. We rode our bikes out to the Nashville seashore and we were out walking in the ocean.
Well, I've been thinking about it.
And when she
Following you on
texted,
Facebook.
when she texted me, so I sent her a picture of us. I still had my bike helmet on. We were out walking in the ocean.
That just complicates
So, fun.
everything.
Surgery wound
Well,
up.
make sure you're here for April the
April
17th.
3rd, I go back to be ready.
I will.
Okay, good.
I think I'm
And
gonna
to be home.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make chicken fajitas.
That'll help with recovery.
Ooh, okay. Now, aren't we meeting, we're meeting March 17th.
What's your weather like there?
Well, well, I think
That's next week.
I think April's his last meeting.
I know, I bet, yeah.
Oh, okay.